right, so welcome to the deep dive. And today, we're tackling something I think we can all relate to. It's getting better at asking for help.
Yeah.
You sent over a WikiHow article, and it's really practical. And
Okay.
it's got me thinking about, those times I've really struggled to reach out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's pride or the fear of seeming, I don't know, incompetent. But
Sure.
it's definitely something I wanna work on. How about you?
Oh, it's so fascinating. How often we try to go it alone, even when we know help could make all the difference.
Exactly. So this WikiHow article, it kind of breaks down this whole process of asking for help into three main sections.
Okay.
And the first one is figuring out what help you need, then actually asking for it, and then accepting it gracefully.
So it's like a roadmap for the whole help-seeking journey.
Right. So let's start with that first hurdle, the actual asking.
Okay.
The article, it really stresses the importance of timing, being specific about what you need, and also framing the request positively.
Yeah. Timing is key because, people are more receptive when they feel mentally and emotionally available. Imagine trying to, ask your boss for a favor when they're rushing to a meeting.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Definitely not the best time to make a request. And what about being specific? I know sometimes I struggle to even articulate what I need help with.
It's like going to the doctor and saying, I don't feel good. Yeah.
Right.
Where do you even begin to address that? Being specific, it helps the other person understand exactly how they can support you.
And it probably makes them feel more capable of actually helping, too.
Yeah.
I think that positive framing is really interesting. The article gives this example of needing a coworker to cover a shift. So instead of saying, I'm so swamped, could you cover for me?
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it sound like they're not busy.
Right.
You could say, you could try, I know we're both busy, but you seem to be handling the stress better than me. Would you have time to take my place?
It's like you're subtly appealing to their sense of competence and helpfulness. And who doesn't like feeling appreciated? It's smart. It's smart psychology at play.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I'm going to try to remember that next time I need to ask, a coworker for something. What about those situations like outside of work? Let's say you need help with something personal, like moving or dealing with a family issue.
Yeah.
Does the same approach apply?
Absolutely. Clear communication and a positive attitude. Those are essential in any situation where you're asking for help.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the other person's time and energy, and also showing appreciation for their willingness to help.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that asking for help effectively is actually kind of a skill, and it requires a certain level of, emotional intelligence, right?
Exactly. Emotional intelligence, that's the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as recognize and empathize with the emotions of others.
Right.
And it plays a huge role in how we navigate all these social interactions, including, asking for help.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, emotional intelligence kind of helps us pick the right time to ask.
Yeah.
Phrase our requests in a way that resonates with the other person, and also be mindful of their emotional state.
Precisely, yeah. It's about reading the room, so to speak.
Okay, that's helpful. Now, I know we're just getting started, but this is already giving me a lot to think about. What about you out there listening? What kind of situations make you hesitate to ask for help?
It's interesting to consider those, internal barriers, right? What makes us hold back when we could really benefit from support.
For sure. All right. Moving on to the second section, the article talks about identifying the help that you need. They suggest making a list of your needs and rating their importance, and then brainstorming potential helpers.
This is where a little organization can make a huge difference, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. It's like creating a help-seeking game plan.
I love that. The article uses the example of a new parent who's recovering from surgery.
Okay.
They need help with everything from grocery shopping to childcare. Making a list and prioritizing those needs, it can feel incredibly empowering, especially in, a stressful situation like that.
It's about breaking down a potentially overwhelming situation into those manageable tasks.
Yeah.
And then matching those tasks with potential helpers. And this method, it can apply to so many situations, whether it's, dealing with a new project at work or navigating a family crisis, or even, just tackling that never-ending to-do list.
So it's like a mental decluttering exercise for your needs, almost. You're getting everything out of your head and onto paper, which makes it easier to see what needs to be done and who might be able to help.
Exactly. And once you have that clarity, you can start to, reach out strategically and ask for help in a way that feels less daunting.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling less intimidated by this whole this whole asking for help thing already, but there's still that last hurdle, right?
Yeah.
Accepting help gracefully.
Yes, receiving help, it could be just as challenging as asking for it.
Right.
And the article dives into some really, really interesting points about, navigating this part of the process.
All right, well, let's take a deep breath and dive into that next. Okay, so we talked about, identifying what help we need and then actually like making that ask.
Right.
But now we're on to the part that can be surprisingly tricky,
Hmm.
accepting help gracefully.
Yeah, it is interesting how some people, it's easier for them to be the helper,
Yeah.
the receiver.
Totally.
There could be a lot of emotions tied up in accepting help, even when it's, genuinely offered and needed.
The article highlights the importance of like acknowledging the help that you've received, and expressing sincere thanks, and even explaining how the help was beneficial. I guess it's kind of closing the loop, right? Showing the person that their effort really made a difference.
It's about validating their generosity and letting them know their actions had a positive impact.
Right.
Think about it. When you go out of your way to help someone, wouldn't you feel good knowing that it was truly appreciated
Oh, for sure.
and that it was helpful?
Absolutely. It reinforces that feeling of like, hey, I did something good and it mattered. It makes me think of that warm, fuzzy feeling you get, after doing a random act of kindness.
Exactly. And on a deeper level, there's a powerful psychological impact to gratitude.
Okay.
Not only does expressing gratitude, make the helper feel appreciated, but it also strengthens the bond between you.
Yeah.
It feeds into that sense of reciprocity,
Mm.
this beautiful idea that we're all in this together, supporting each other through life's ups and downs.
So it's not just about good manners. It's actually about, nurturing those relationships and building those stronger connections. The article even suggests like going a step further, like sending a thank you note
Oh, yeah.
or small gift to show your appreciation.
Those gestures, they add a tangible element to your gratitude.
Mm.
They show that you put thought and effort into acknowledging their kindness.
Right.
And it circles back beautifully to that concept of, paying it forward,
Yeah.
of helping others.
This whole conversation has me thinking about the flip side of this whole equation.
Okay.
What about recognizing when others might need help? The article, it really focused on seeking help, but
Yeah.
being the giver is equally important, maybe even more so.
It's a crucial part of that cycle of reciprocity.
Hmm.
Think about, the people in your life.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any signs that someone might be struggling?
Mm.
Maybe they're, more withdrawn than usual, seem overwhelmed, or just not quite themselves.
Right. And sometimes people are hesitant to ask for that help, right?
Oh,
Pride, fear of burdening others.
yeah, all sorts of
reasons.
So being able to recognize those unspoken needs, that's key. But how do we do that without, being intrusive or making assumptions?
It doesn't require these grand gestures.
Okay.
Sometimes just a simple, how are you really doing? Can open the door.
Right.
Or offering to help with a specific task. Like, hey, I'm running to the store, need anything.
It's about being observant, being empathetic, and creating that space where people feel comfortable opening up. And, offering help, proactively, that probably has its own set of benefits too, right?
Absolutely. It strengthens relationships, builds trust, and fosters a sense of community. It's like you're saying, I see you, I care about you, and I'm here to support you.
And it just feels good to help others, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's like that warm, fuzzy feeling we were talking about earlier. Exactly. And that brings us full circle back to, accepting help gracefully.
Right.
When someone offers you support, they're giving you a gift. Acknowledging and appreciating that gift, that completes the cycle.
So it's all connected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Asking for help, offering help, and accepting help gratefully.
It's this beautiful web of human connection that sustains us.
This is also insightful. The article didn't really touch on this, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
What are some ways we can become more attuned to the needs of others?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because sometimes it's hard to tell, if someone's just having a bad day or if they're truly struggling.
That's a great question. I think active listening is crucial.
Okay.
Really paying attention to what people are saying and also to their nonverbal cues.
You mean like body language, tone of voice?
Exactly.
Those sorts of things.
Exactly. Those nonverbal signals can can often reveal, more than words alone. Also asking open-ended questions can encourage people to share. Things like, what's been keeping you busy lately? Or how are you feeling about that project?
Yeah.
Give them space to express themselves.
So it's about being present, engaged, and showing that genuine interest, right?
Yeah.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk, but actually, listening and absorbing what the other person is communicating.
And sometimes, sometimes it's about simply being there,
Yeah.
offering a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, a reassuring presence. Just letting someone know they're not alone.
I think we often underestimate the power of simply being present for someone.
Yeah,
Just showing up and saying, I'm here for you, whatever you need.
absolutely. It can make all the difference in the world.
Okay, so to recap, we've talked about asking for help effectively, identifying what pay of help we need, and accepting it gracefully.
But we've also delved into that important flip side,
Right.
recognizing when others might need help and offering that support proactively.
And we've explored the significance of reciprocity.
Yes.
That beautiful cycle of giving and receiving that strengthens our connections.
It's a reminder that we're not meant to go through life alone.
Yeah.
We all need help sometimes.
And that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength and self-awareness.
Exactly. It's about recognizing our limitations.
Yeah.
And reaching out for support when we need it.
And in turn, offering that same support to others when we see them struggling. It's about creating a culture of compassion and mutual aid.
Beautifully said. And speaking of offering support, the article mentions the importance of choosing the right time to ask for help.
Right.
But what about those situations where we need help immediately? Emergencies, crises, those moments when we can't afford to wait.
Ooh, that's a crucial point, and it brings up a whole other set of considerations.
Like recognizing the signs of a true emergency, knowing who to contact for help, and having a plan in place for different scenarios.
This is getting really deep. Maybe we need a whole other deep dive on emergency preparedness.
I'm game if you are.
Okay, well we'll add that to the list.
Well done.
But for now, let's wrap up this deep dive on asking for help.
Okay.
Any final thoughts for our listener?
Yes. I think the biggest takeaway is that everyone needs help sometimes, and that asking for help is not only okay, it's actually essential for our well-being.
It's a sign of strength, not weakness. And by fostering this culture of support and reciprocity, we create a world where everyone feels empowered to ask for help when they need it and to offer help when they can.
Beautifully said.
So, our listener, remember, you are not alone in this. Reach out, connect, and don't be afraid to ask for help. It might just change your life and the lives of those around you. It's like that old saying, a burden shared is a burden halved.
Oh, I love that. And, it goes both ways. When we help others, we often find our own burdens feel lighter, too.
Yeah, that makes me think about all the research on, like, the benefits of helping others.
Oh, exactly. Studies have shown that helping others can boost our mood. It can reduce stress and even improve physical health.
It's like a built-in reward system for being kind.
I like to think of it as like a ripple effect. One act of kindness can create this cascade of positive energy.
So it's not just about, the person that we're helping. It's about the positive impact it has on us and the community as a whole.
Precisely. Like, it's a win-win-win situation.
Well said. Okay, so tying this all back to, like, the WikiHow article, we've seen how it provides this really practical roadmap for asking for help, but our conversation today has gone so much deeper.
We've explored the emotional and social dynamics at play, the importance of reciprocity, and even touched upon, the idea of proactive support and recognizing those unspoken needs.
And I think that's the real beauty of a deep dive.
Yeah.
We take those initial sources as a jumping off point.
Right.
And explore all these, like, fascinating interconnected ideas.
It's like we're weaving a tapestry of understanding, thread by thread.
Oh, I love that analogy. So to our listener, I hope you're leaving this deep dive feeling empowered to ask for help, when you need it.
And inspired to offer help to others, with generosity and compassion.
Because in the end, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.